Welcome to Body Energetics, evidence-based spirituality to get happy, healthy, and hot. I'm your host, Lauren Saracione, and I've been in fitness for over 22 years. I've also had 3 major healing events where I learned something new and deeper about the mind-body connection. It is my mission to help you get happy, healthy, and hot. So whether you're here for mindset work to get happy, emotional work to get healthy, or owning your desires and who you be to get hot, Body Energetics is for you. Before we get started on today's podcast, I wanted to invite you to make love to food and dieting. This is our first masterclass of the year. It's January 18th at 6 p.m. Pacific time. I'm going to teach you what the patterns are of the attachment styles and how they're showing up in your diet and food, and then the why behind it. Once you know the pattern and the why behind it, you get to be your lover and you get to fill in the gaps that you are using food to do for you. So no more emotional regulation with food. And this is going to help you stick with your diet, which is so important. The consistency is so important to burn fat and get you into your dream body. Go to bodyenergetics.com/secure to sign up. Welcome to episode number 4 of Body Energetics podcast, evidence-based spirituality to get happy, healthy, and hot. This is one of our evidence episodes. We have several categories of episodes. You can listen to the intro at episode 000 to find out how these are categorized and why, so that it helps you create a really fast, thorough, easy to navigate way to use this podcast to self-heal, whether you're working on mindset stuff to get happy, whether you're working on emotional regulation stuff to get healthy, or whether you are working on embracing your desire and what is true for you to get hot, whatever that might mean to you. In this episode, we are talking about Dr. Bruce Lipton and the biology of belief. There's a secondary book called The Honeymoon Cocktail or The Honeymoon Effect that I'm going to share with you, but I really want you to focus on biology of belief. So Dr. Bruce Lipton is a biologist, and he was laughed out of the scientific community because he went against the scientific dogma that said, ready, DNA, our genetic blueprint, transfers through the RNA into the expression of the gene. What he said was that the environment of the cell that the DNA is in dictated through the RNA to the DNA how to then express itself. And this is very simple to understand when we look at people who get out of unhappy marriages, or we look at people who change their mindset and they seem to reverse age. When we see someone we haven't seen in years and they've been doing inner work and you're like, wow, you look so good. Those are all a result of somebody's cellular environment changing the genetic expression of their genes. So Dr. Bruce Lipton is not affiliated with mainstream medical industrial complex. He is out on the outskirts with people who are more autonomous in their health and proactive in what they're doing with their body. So you won't find too much of his stuff associated with mainstream medicine. I won't get into all of the sciencey stuff about receptors and how cells are actually functioning. The thing that you really need to understand is that the cellular environment, the cell of which the DNA is housed in, is the thing that's determining how it expresses itself, how the gene expresses itself, either in ease or dis-ease. The cell is flooded with chemicals, and chemicals are also emotional, or we should say emotions are chemical. So whatever is going on in your mindset, particularly your subconscious mind, the part of your body, the part of your mind or your emotional state, your personality, your mood, that thing that's always on autopilot, the thing that makes you you, that has a specific chemical cocktail that is always secreting from your subconscious mind. So if you have repressed emotions, or if you have memories that were too much for you to be aware of, either way, the emotion or the memory, the thought or the feeling, whatever is repressed and out of your awareness is still active. It's like if you shut the door to a dirty bedroom, the dirty bedroom doesn't go away. The clothes don't magically pick themselves up off the floor. Everything inside that bedroom still exists. It's only that you shut the door and you can't see it anymore. So whatever is happening from your mindset, your personality, the mood and how you are, how you maneuver in the world with yourself, with the relationships, with work, with colleagues, with money, all of that all of that has a specific chemical profile that secretes from your brain that gives your mind body its identity. Your brain is inside your body, and it's a feedback system for the brain, your consciousness, your earth side awareness of your soul having the earth experience has to have some way to identify where it is within the container that the brain is residing in. And part of that happens through the chemicals of what is secreted from the brain. So in Dr. Bruce Lipton's work, he's saying, hey guys, we can't just study genetics because we can look at two people that come from the same house, the same two parents, but they come out looking totally different and they act differently and they have different health. Like one twin can be healthy while the other one is really unhealthy. And that's just like a very small example. And it goes deeper into what is called the study of epigenetics. Epidermis is your skin. It is the biggest organ on top of all your organs and keeps everything together. Epi means above. So epigenetics is the study above the gene. And so what we're really looking at is the chemical environment of the cell. So if you're eating a whole bunch of toxic food from fast food franchises, which most of that is not actually food. It doesn't actually process out of your body. There's really no nutrition to it. It's a bunch of fake things that your body doesn't recognize. If you're eating a lot of fake food, that those fake food chemicals goes into your cells and then tells the cell through the RNA how to express itself. So it's a little complicated. It's not really that complicated, to be honest. The medical industry wants it to be complicated because it's more profitable for them, for us to not know that our mindset and how we perceive ourself and our self-esteem has a lot to do with the physical health of our body. In theory, we know this because we can tell that, like, if we're not feeling good, we usually are in a bad mood. Like, if our body's not feeling good, we're usually not in a positive mindset. And we know that when we're stressed, our immune system suppresses. And we know that when we're stressed, sometimes we have old injuries act up. But we haven't all fully figured out that it is our perception that is determining what molecules of emotion are secreting from the brain, and then how those molecules of emotion, those degenerative molecules of emotion, if they're negative, are dictating the genetic expression in a negative way. So, biology of belief is going to take you deep into understanding how things work on a cellular level. And the honeymoon effect, which I said I was going to mention just slightly, this really changed things for me because it made me understand on such a deep level how to program my body, mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual bodies with positive emotion. And we're going to be talking about how to do that in other category episodes, particularly the breathwork episode of how you connect to your spiritual body in the framework categories of episodes for the spiritual body. What you need to know about the honeymoon effect is that when you are falling in love, right, you probably don't have as big of an appetite. You don't really need to eat as much. Everything is great, right? You see the world through rose-colored glasses. The things that used to bother you aren't bothering you so much because you're in such an elevated state because you're falling in love with someone. First of all, I want to tell you that the experience of falling in love is actually falling in love with yourself because you are experiencing yourself in a new way because of this person's attention and validation. That's the number one thing that I want to share with you, woman to woman or heartbreak to heartbreak, that your experience of falling in love isn't necessarily about the person and the things that you're loving about them, because there's going to be things that are going to start to annoy you about them. What's really happening is they are filling in the gaps of the ways that you thought you weren't lovable. And so, because you get to experience all parts of yourself as accepted and lovable and to die for, and I can't get enough, you're actually having a new self perception of yourself in love. And that's why it feels so freaking good. The other thing that's happening is you're secreting regenerative molecules of emotion, love, joy, appreciation, kindness, care. Those are the top rated emotions from an institution called Heart Math Institute. And they have the protocol that I use for myself and with my clients for breath work. Because what they've done is they've measured what are the top 5 emotions that get your brain and your heart coherent, that get your mental and emotional bodies together to regulate the physical body and start to recreate a new experience within your health and within your body. So when I read The Honeymoon Effect and I was learning brain and heart coherence breathing, I was like, oh my God, like I can literally be in brain and heart coherence breathing, which is only 3 minutes. They tested this out. It's only 3 minutes for this to regulate your system. And I could visualize something that would make me feel love, joy, appreciation, kindness, care. So I would put myself in the state of being in love because it changed what molecules of emotion were secreting from my brain. So I created a new mind body identity that was allowing my genes to express themselves in ease and in health and reverse aging. And then I also was programming my vibrational field with the emotional body. We'll get into that in other episodes because that's relevant, but we're going to keep it focused here to just the biology of our earth body. So, Biology of Belief and The Honeymoon Effect by Dr. Bruce Lipton, those are the resources that we are going to be referencing in other podcast episodes where I'm really talking about what's happening on the chemical environment of the physical body. Because your physical body um is under your control to a certain degree. And we do that with the mindset, and we do that with the inner work for us to change some of the negative mindsets that are on autopilot that are causing the degenerative molecules of emotion to secrete from our brain that run down our body, that cause it to deteriorate and age faster. So if this is interesting for you, definitely go check out those 2 books or look up any information on Dr. Bruce Lipton. It's so good. It's the study of epigenetics. You get to find out that your belief, whatever it is that you're believing in or about, has a range of molecules of emotion that range from degenerative, that break down your tissue and cause rapid aging, or regenerative, that are like growth hormone to allow you to reverse the aging process and look better the more your mood improves. So check that out. Before we hang up, we got to make sure that you know to go to bodyenergetics.com so that you can sign up for my newsletter and get these episodes delivered directly to your inbox every single week. And then go to facebook.com/groups/bodyenergetics because we have a thread for every single episode. You can drop any questions or comments that you might have about the show on that thread. And then also we have a monthly community event where we deepen the conversation on all the topics that were shared in the month of the podcast episodes. When you come to that call, you get entered into a raffle where you could win my water bottle that has Aurora, my dragon, that is part of my energetic signature. She's carrying the heart chakra. Or you can win this mug that reminds us that we are all of it, the darkness and the light. The inside of the mug is black, the outside is white, and it has really cool swirly lights around the name Body Energetics. Before we hang up, I got to let you know we have our very first workshop, our masterclass rather, on January 18th at 6 p.m. Pacific time, Los Angeles time. It is called Secure, and it is all about making love with food and dieting. I'm going to take you through through understanding the patterns of your attachment style. Because once you understand, or once you can watch the patterns that you have around your attachment style with dieting and with food, then you can actually change the pattern. And this is going to change your relationship with diet and food so that you don't use food to emotionally regulate, and you can follow through with sticking with the plan so that you can have sustainable weight loss. So just go to bodyenergetics.com/secure to get that masterclass. The pricing changes the closer we get to it, so make sure that you go to it as soon as you can so that you can get the lowest price there. Thank you so much for being here, and here's to being happy, healthy, and hot. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you found it helpful, please head over and give us a 5-star rating and leave a review for how this was helpful for you. This is going to help me spread the word faster into more people who need this information to self-heal. Join us at facebook.com/group/bodyenergetics, where we have discussions about the episodes. Go to bodyenergetics.com so that you can sign up for my newsletter to make sure that you never miss an episode. And that's the place that you're going to get invited to our Zoom discussion that we have every single month. Tag us on social media, Body Energetics, and we will reshare your tag and enter you into our monthly drawing to win our really cute water bottle or our really cool mug.